Hello all, this is Dr. Kamal. I wanted to make a quick video to kind of walk you through the homework for week 2 of Business 250. So this week we have 5 problems, and problems basically ask you to utilize some of the Excel functions. For example, the first one, problem 2.1. You've given short data and you've been asked to calculate the projected increase between year 2000 to 2010, and then check on the percentage increase. So if we go to the Excel file, this is the database that we're being given. And in addition to that, we create a small table here to calculate the projected increase. And if you look at this cell, for example, the projected increase basically says to subtract C6, which is this one here. C6 is 2010 minus B6, which is the year 2000. And that will give you the difference between these two cells, what's called the nominal projected increase for so much money or so much difference. And then you've been asked to create a percentage, and you put a percentage. This is a very simple Excel function for this problem. And basically, if you click on the function, it will show you that it is basically dividing E6 over B6, and to create a percentage, which means this percentage is selected to format the cell. So that will give you a percentage right away. And that's what you do for this. You can just drag this formula, and it will calculate for each cell. And you can do the same here as well. And the end here, there is again the same differences and percentages again. The second problem also is giving you an Excel file, and it's describing what the data is providing and each item, and is asking you to modify the spreadsheet to calculate total sales revenue for each of the 8 stores, as well as each of the 3 sales regions. So when you go back to your homework template, and you will check, here's the data that is giving. There's an ID, and here's a store number in column C, and it got stores from 1 all the way to 8. So all the data just contains 8 stores. And in column D, which is sales region, is the region south, north, east, and that's it. Just 3 regions. And then the rest of the data over there, asking you to modify by the store number. So basically what you want to do here is put the store numbers from 1 to 8, and then it's asking you to calculate the sales revenue for each store. So for store 1, for example, you will put here a function, and if you click on the function, it will show you how this works. So you will do sum if what, and then you will notice here C4 to C99, and the dollar signs in both of them, between both of them, like $C, $4, means the specific range does not change. You cannot go anywhere. So that is between, this is C4 all the way to, as we said, C99. So C99 will be here. So we're taking this entire column from C4 to C99. What else? It's saying take this range, and if you put here that, it will tell you that sum if range, which we selected, the criteria we are asking Excel to look for the value of 1 that is equaling 1, because it's store number 1. And once you find that criteria, sum range, and which range you're going to sum or add up, it is the range of J4 to J99, which is basically this kind of reddish highlighted range from J4 to J99 over here. And that's Excel. And once you hit enter, that's what Excel going to do. Is going to do the same thing. Now, for store 2, it will be the same thing, except the value here will be 2 equals 2 because it's a store 2. But the value here was equal 1 and so on. So you keep changing those. If you go by region, very similar. You will put the South region, you will type this in, and you will create your SUMIF function, which is the same range, but instead of store number, now you work with sales region. The criteria is South specifically, so it's equal South. And then again, you go to the range where you have the revenue over there as well. The third problem, you're given an Excel file again, and it's telling you what it is, what items are inserted, and it kind of throws in a couple of conditions. One, additional guests over 2 will have to pay $20 extra, and guests staying over 6 days or 7 days. It's supposed to be 7 days, but the sheet I think is given 6 days. It doesn't matter. That if they stay over, then they will have stay in 7 days or more will get a discount. And it's asking you again to modify the spreadsheet and calculate the number of days, etc. So when you jump back to the homework template, you don't have these. The homework template is asking you to fill these in. I'm trying to explain to you. You have the formula there, but you need to understand how to utilize the formulas. The best way to use the homework templates is you work the problems on your own, come back, use the template and see where you did a mistake, use it as a learning tool, and then submit the homework template once you're finished. This is an analytics class, so Word documents do not count or not accepted. Anyway, back to the problem. This is all the entries of the problem: the ID, the guest first name, last name, the room type, arrival dates, number of guests, the daily rate, etc. So it's asking you to, on the side here, we made up these cells, which it says per guest, fee per guest over 2 is $20, over 6 days or 7 days, 10%. Maybe this is the only discrepancy here between what the problem said and what the sheet said, but you can change that into a 7. We'll look at the formula. The rate here is 150. It says daily rate considering the number of guests. So you're saying if H7, which is this, is larger than or equal to 2. So basically from 2 to 3 or more than guest or 4 or 5 or whatever. And then I7. So basically it says here if logical test, you give it the logical test, which is H7, the number of guests, larger than or equal to 2. Value if true. Value if true is the I7. The I7 is the 150, the daily rate. And then value if false. If false, meaning if this is not 2 and it is 1, then they don't have to pay. So basically here it says what? H7, which is 2, I7, which is the 150, plus the number of guests. If this is just one person, it will be 1 minus 2 will be minus times K3. K3 here is 10%. And so on. If it is 3, so you will have 1 more, you will have 1 extra, and this is how you get the times. It will be like times 90%, and this is instead of 100%, and this is how you get the discount. So you will do this here, and this will calculate the rating. So we have 2 guests, did not have to pay extra because you only pay for over 3, and the number of days stayed. So here you subtract the dates from one another, give you the number of days. So they did not stay over 6 days, and therefore they don't deserve a discount, so they paid in full. So 3 times 450 is 450. You can also do this here the same, another if function if you wanted to use that the same way. In this one you have 3 guests, so that means you will pay $20, but you also stayed, or these people stayed 8 days, so that's over 6 days, so they deserve the discount, and therefore they paid less. And this is how you get to tell Excel exactly what to do, and you give them the set of conditions. Now the fourth problem wants you to specifically use the COUNTIF and again modify the spreadsheet using the F function. And going back to the problem to 4, here's the data sheet. You will create something similar. So this is the F statement, and where you will look at the checking and determine based on the value. If it is less than $2,000, you will say it's a low, medium, or high. And the savings is the same way. You will determine if it is medium, high, or low using the same F function, which the logical test, the value of true, the value of false. And then the loan purpose is new car, and you will either type this in and or just say with whatever other cell they are equal to. And then the number of applicants, this is where you put the COUNTIF function. And the COUNTIF, you're telling Excel to go and count each one that says new car. So it will check on the range, and this range is everything here. And when it sees the criteria says new car, it will count it. So because you're telling him to count, if you go through the range and you find new car, then you count that. And you will do the same thing for each one of them, used car, etc. And it will keep counting. And the checking balance less than $500, you will type that in, and then the number of customers you will go and count if in this range B4 to, here's the B4 to B28, so this entire column, count every time you find less than $500, and so on. The last problem, you are giving a data set and you're asked to modify the Excel file using the VLOOKUP function. So quickly we'll go back and check on that. The VLOOKUP function will say that here is the order that we're looking for as given in the problem. These are the 3 orders they want us to check. So we type in these orders here, and you need to look up for this order and find the item description. Here is the item description column, and here's the order number. So you will tell Excel to VLOOKUP, vertically look up the lookup value is I4, which is this one. So you tell Excel, look at this type that I have, the typing that I have here, and go to the table array, and the table array is the one that is highlighted in red. So the entire items, all the entries here, and then the column index number, because the item description is in the 3rd column in this range, 1, 2, 3, we put the value 3, and then the range lookup, which is we tell them what to look for. And then once you hit enter, it goes to this order, which is basically right here. This is the order, and Excel will go and find this order, and then we'll count 1, 2, 3 and copy this back here, and that's how it goes. And then it goes here again, and we look up the value, so it does the same thing and goes under cost value, and you will notice we had column 6 here instead of 3, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excel will go to the column 6, 5 August 11008, and then go to column 6 to find value 9000, and it will put it here. So that's it, how you use